from exile. Now is our day. Ready. This country, Uganda. Yeah. Mommy.
The chairperson of the National Women's Council,
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, our honored cabinet ministers, Your Excellencies, wives of diplomats, the Honorable Madam Chairperson, National Council of Women, all our invited guests, my fellow women. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this most important occasion. I am particularly happy that for the first time in the history of this country, Uganda has joined hands with the international community in observing this occasion. This is also the most representative gathering of women in this country since liberation and indeed in the history of Uganda. As a woman, I share the same concerns and problems that any woman faces in this country and the world over. As you are aware, today we are here to celebrate the International Women's Day. Some of you may well ask, what is the International Women's Day? It is therefore fitting to remind ourselves that the International Women's Day is a day born of struggles by women to be taken as equal partners in all aspects of development. It started in 1907 by the International Congress, which took place at Stuttgart in Germany, acknowledging that women had not been given a fair deal, and therefore urged each country which participated in the Congress to intensify their work to support women's struggle for social, economic, social, cultural, and political equality. In 1975, the United Nations, of which Uganda is a very active member, declared the International Women's Year. The United Nations further declared 1975 to 1985 to be a decade for women. It was also recognized that March 8th be a day on which all the member nations should recognize and honor women. Before today, Uganda had not done anything to recognize and honor women on this day. But this is because of the recent historical problems of this country. We are therefore very grateful that the International Women's Day is today given that recognition. Under the circumstances, it is fitting that the first celebration of International Women's Day in Uganda should begin at the State House. While it is appreciated that the women of Uganda did not have to struggle to vote and to get equal pay for equal work, it is also a fact that there is still a lot Ugandan women have to achieve. It is statistically acknowledged that there are more women in Uganda than men. The question then is, why is it that women are not adequately represented at various government levels and other bodies? There is no negative aspect of the history of our country which has not touched women most intimately. The women of this country supported their men in the struggle for independence. During the reign of terror, it was the women who were the comfort and backbone of the homes when men were imprisoned and murdered. Many women lost their husbands, they lost their sons, they lost their brothers and relatives. Some of them even lost their lives. Ugandan women participated at various levels in the liberation of our country from the murders of the 70s. The Ugandan rural woman plays a most significant part in the economy of Uganda. She is the major producer of both food and cash crops. She is a food processor. She is a wife. She is a mother. She is a nurse. And she is a comforter. She works more than 15 hours each day. Yet if she wanted to improve her farm or business, she would have no access to a bank loan. This is because she is uneducated, and the land she farms belongs, of course, to the husband. Yet, the bank insists on some form of security before it can give her a loan. She is often not recognized by the field worker as a vital recipient of modern farming methods. If the field officer meets her at all, in most cases, he or she will talk to her about home economics only. Let it be understood that the demand for more attention being given to women's issues is not out of selfishness on our part, but rather out of an urgent need to achieve equality that our country can leap ahead in development with 2 healthy legs rather than limp with 1 good male leg and 1 bad female leg. One does not require many examples to show what we are trying to point out. There are no women in the cabinet. There is only 1 member of parliament. The number of women on boards of various parastatals and other bodies is minimal. There are no women judges. At Makerere University, there's only 1 woman professor. There is only 1 woman permanent secretary and 3 undersecretaries. It is no wonder that the women of Uganda feel that they have not been appreciated or taken seriously enough. Uganda women can influence a lot of things. The Ugandan community should try to address itself specifically to women as an important part of the population. We are very happy to note that the government has always provided equal opportunities for boys and girls in the field of education. However, we are disappointed by the high rate of school dropouts among girls. This is due to the cultural attitudes which force parents to withdraw girls from school when there is no money for fees. In the rural areas, a father would sell a bull to get a boy back to school, but would rarely do so for a girl. We suggest that to remedy the situation, plans should commence towards the introduction of free primary school education for all. We recommend the establishment of village polytechnics and other vocational training institutions. We also support the revival of an all-out adult literacy campaign by the Ministry of Culture to stamp out illiteracy, of which the majority of victims are women, particularly in the rural areas. We welcome the immunization program that the government has introduced with international assistance. However, we know that many people still die from lack of medical facilities. Mothers die in childbirth due to lack of proper care. There is need for more maternity hospitals and the upgrading of the nursing profession to ensure greater efficiency. Better working conditions and higher pay would revive the morale of the nursing personnel and reduce incidences of negligence and unprofessional behavior. My fellow women, I would like to address our minds to the family as a central unit in any society. Yes. There is no doubt that there has been a weakening in the ties that used to bind families together. There is a moral degeneration in our society which has culminated into biasm and loose morals which have pervaded every fiber of our nation. The holding of the family together is a joint responsibility of both parents, the man and the woman. To abscond from that responsibility is to contribute to the degeneration of our society. We all know charity begins at home. Children are the responsibility of both parents, and the family is the most important unit in the life of a child. It is up to the parents to bring up their children in an atmosphere of love and emotional security, and this requires love, integrity, honesty, and the presence of both parents if they are alive. It is said that if there is righteousness in the heart, there will be beauty in character. If there is beauty in character, there will be harmony in the family home. If there is harmony in the home, there will be order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. Every parent is aware of how difficult it is to bring up children in these turbulent times. But we must neither despair nor be complacent, because at all times we must have hope and think of the future generations. The step taken by government to assist widows and orphans is greatly appreciated. However, there is still need for government, for religious institutions, and other bodies to mount a campaign to protect even further the widows and orphans of this country. We know of incidents where relatives have turned widows out of their homes and on occasions deprived them of access to their children. We know that there is a law of succession which entitles a widow to stay in her house after her husband's death, but this law is either not known or not complied with.